you're definitely gonna get hit up.
I mean, it's been since this morning. A bunch of my boys are like, yo, good luck with the podcast. We can't wait to hear it. I'm like, it's not live.
I know. So that
My
was
guys at Hummus, they're like, oh, what time? What time?
Yeah, we'll
I'm
tune
like,
in.
Yeah, I'm like, no, it's going to go on tomorrow.
Yeah,
Like,
so
oh,
either
man,
it'll probably be tomorrow or it'll be what's tomorrow? Wednesday. It'll probably be tomorrow or Thursday. Because I'm gonna bang them out on the plane because I still got to do Jamal. Do you know Jamal? Gorilla MMA Tech. He's a revolving co-host on here. So Jamal's 25 years in the fitness industry. He's an unbelievable individual, just super knowledgeable, super cool dude. And he also does a lot of boxing coaching. So he coaches Big Baby Miller with some of his stuff, with the fighting and whatnot. So he comes back and forth between here and Florida. So I had him on. He's going to be a revolving co-host. So his episode I haven't gotten to edit yet because it gets tough because the podcast is a passion of mine. And I love sitting down with amazing entrepreneurs. I love sitting down with amazing individuals that have great stories and just great energy about them. You being one of those people.
Appreciate that.
I appreciate you, bro. There's so much we're going to talk about.
Appreciate being here.
Of course, man. Dude, energy meets each other. So it's like that good energy
We've known
meets
each
one
other
another.
for a couple of years now.
Exactly. So
we worked together before.
Exactly. And we're going to get we'll get into all of that because we got tons of stuff to talk about because you're a man of knowledge and your knowledge can help a lot of people.
Appreciate that.
And that's one of the main reasons that I love having people like you come on because it's amazing information for people to just listen and hear experiences and whatnot. But so I got the podcast with him. I got the podcast with Andre, and then I'm gonna have yours. So I got a 6-hour flight to LA tomorrow. So I'm probably just gonna bang them all out
right on the plane.
Because when you're working with cameras like this, static cameras, and you don't have somebody doing the switching for you, meaning like every time I'm speaking, my camera's on. Every time you're speaking, it switches to you.
You're a one-man team.
Exactly. But like in the editing process, every time I speak or you speak, I have to do that switch. So it's like I'm listening to the podcast over again, start to finish, and every time I'm
quick,
A/B switching. So like every time you start switching, exactly. Every time you start speaking, camera B. Every time I start speaking, camera A. Like so, you're doing the switching. It's time consuming,
of course.
So it's either going to be that on the plane ride over to LA, or it's going to be I'm going to watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and Frodo's going to throw that ring right into the fire the second we land. That's how it usually goes. But listen, man, super pumped to have you here. Tony,
appreciate it. I'm
it's
hyped
Turkset,
to be
right? Turkset?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure I pronounce it correctly. Tony Turkset in the building. This is my man right here.
I appreciate you having me here. Seriously.
Dude, it's been a long time coming, but you're a busy man to track down.
We've been trying to get on here for how long now?
Oh God, so
months now.
The Voice and Rizzles with John was the first podcast I had, and then I had Brajol Brothers with Tyler. And now Rizzology is kind of, I say it every episode to kind of just reiterate the fact because we have new listeners every single episode. It's a collaboration of all of the podcasts because I'm just as good with amazing people with me. Like I'm only as good as the amazing people I have come on. That's 100%. What I mean. So John Panetti, my old co-host, he's going to be on for segments. I'm going to have still the amazing
dude.
John's great. John's phenomenal.
John's a good dude.
I hung out with him yesterday, not for good reasons though. We were at George P's funeral.
Yes.
And that was a rough thing.
I'm sure. I was actually thinking about that on the way here.
Yeah, it was.
I was going to ask you about that.
It was. It's interesting because, like Meadows dying and then George dying, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with Marco Rivera.
No, I'm not.
Marco Rivera has. He was training this Dominican kid who was like his little brother, basically. Like the kid just came from Dominican Republic to the U.S. to become a bodybuilding pro and to be able to support his family back home and his son. So. The last couple of years he's been building. Dude was a brick shithouse. Unbelievably built. Solid kid.
Wait, I feel like I know who you're talking about. You shot him.
I shot him once with Marco. Once.
Okay.
Let me see if I can pull that picture up. But super nice kid, very humble, sweetheart of a human being. And just literally Meadows died. And then I think it was last month, it was in September, he went back to the Dominican Republic to see his son. Mm-hmm. And he got in a car accident and died. And Marco, Marco was ripped apart. So now his family came to the States. Marco created a little GoFundMe for them. So then that happens, and then George happens at the Olympia.
Yeah.
And it's so shocking when something like that happens because, to a lot of these people that watch the videos that I take, the photos that I take, you around these amazing athletes, they don't realize that these people aren't just like somebody to us. A lot of these people are family. Man. They're close.
I met George at Bev's.
Oh, yeah?
One night, we go down at Bev's. It was like 10:30 at night. First time seeing him. Just looked at him. The guy looked amazing. I didn't really know. This was years ago. Unreal. And the kindness was just even more unreal.
I don't think there's a single person that could say a negative thing about George.
The nicest guy.
Everyone's got a negative interaction with somebody. I'm sure there's 1,000 people that have had negative interactions with me, whether it be we didn't get along for some reason or something didn't go right. I can't say the same about you, but like I've had nothing but good with you.
You're
But
an
everyone
asshole in someone's story.
that's what I'm saying. So
You can't be
everyone's
the
had
nicest guy.
not a single person for George. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. The energy, kindness,
Just always just
shocking for sure.
Always just happy to see you, happy to be there, smiling. It doesn't matter what everybody said in his eulogies yesterday too. Just an unbelievable human when it came down to just like wanting to be there and help other people. They told the story at the funeral. They said there was a kid from Norway who was a big George fan, and he traveled to the U.S. just on vacation, and he came to Bev's, and George was there, and he was too intimidated to go up to him and say anything to him.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was George's talking to somebody, and he leaves, and then that kid from Norway goes up to that person that George was talking to, and he goes, "Oh, I was too intimidated to talk to George. I'm a huge fan, this and that." And he goes, "Hold on one second." He calls George up. He goes, "Yo, did you leave the parking lot?" And George goes, "Yeah, I left already." He goes, "Oh, there's this kid from Norway here. He's thrilled. He wanted to meet you. He was too shy to come over." He goes, "I'm coming back." Came back for an hour, stayed, talked to the kid, sat down with him. Who else does that? Who else does that shit?
Yeah.
Just literally
Incredible.
a heart of gold. I'm going to show you this picture just to see if you know this kid. I'm going into the text messages now with Marco. This kid. I took that picture of him.
No. I
No?
actually don't know.
Not familiar. That kid.
No.
Nice kid, man. Super nice.
I'm sure.
So it's just like, it's unfortunate. It's like,
yeah, like
you see shit like this happen and you kind of sit there and you question a little bit. You're like, why? It's such good people that just get taken out like that. And,
Yeah.
there's so many evil motherfuckers that you see on a daily basis.
Literally get the fuck out of this
That could
world.
literally
That
just
gets-
get kicked off and sent to Pluto. Just go
Yeah.
anywhere but here.
Nobody would even question.
And it's just something like that happens, and it shocks you. So, but it was a beautiful service. I saw George's mom. I never met her before. I actually met his sister at Apple one time. I was getting some shit fixed at the Genius Bar, and I don't know how it came up, but she went, "Well, what's your name?" And I said, "Nick." She goes, "I think you take pictures of my brother." And I went, "Who's your brother?" She goes, "George Peterson." I said, "Oh, of course."
Yeah.
Took a selfie together. We sent it to George, and it was just an amazing feeling to see those people. Obviously, they're upset, but that type of a funeral is very different than a standard funeral that I'm used to. Like Italians, Irish, I can't talk for everybody, but like you go in, it's a funeral service. It's just caskets there. You say your goodbyes, you say your prayer, whatever, and then there's a small service, and then that's it. And then you go to the burial. This was like a very large production, singing, people coming up and telling funny stories, and this and that.
Yeah, it's
almost
more
like
of a celebration
of
his
life. Elevating,
which I think he deserves. That's what he deserves.
without
With
question.
the kindness, the happiness that he had, that's what he deserved.
Without question. So it was really beautiful to see that side of a funeral. And I got to tell you, we Italians, we got to step our fucking game up. When I go, there better be drums, there better be cannons going off.
Yeah, but the Italian way is more like
it's more like
stuff like
rigid,
mafia
serious, yeah.
type. Exactly.
Wait,
the whole family turns into the mafia scene.
What are you talking about? There's no such waste management.
Yeah.
So let me get into you, Tony. So when did we meet? I forget when we met. We met years ago. Was it who was it through? I forget, but we just crossed paths, whether it was on Instagram or in person. I just knew that you were in the meal prep game at that point. However, your business has been going far before that meal prep.
Yes.
Andre told me you owned a hookah lounge. I didn't know.
He put out some.
He blew that up.
I know. He put some stories up there that a lot of people don't know about me.
So
but
talk to me.
We're going to talk about that.
Talk to me.
This
So
is
who's
gonna be the first
Tony?
time-
Talk to me.
This is the first time I'm actually going to come out and tell the real story, who I am, about my life a little bit. Because a lot of people, they either know me from the hookah lounge back in the day or hummus.
So I know you hummus.
So exactly,
That's the
hummus,
side of it. So that's half.
Past 3, 4, 5 years.
That's half I don't know about you.
Exactly. And Andre kind of put it out like, oh, this guy is, I am a family guy, but there's also another side. Me and you, I think we met at Total Nutrition.
We might have, yeah.
But I knew who you were. You were taking some dope ass pictures of these bodybuilders.
Thank you, bro.
And, if you go to Bev's, Rizzles around. Like,
Yeah, I was around there.
You were taking pictures of Kai.
Yeah.
That's big.
Arash.
Exactly.
Steve Lorius. I mean, everybody. George. I was
I
literally
mean,
with everybody. Flex when he was in town, so it was cool. Yeah.
And we've spoke about your work before, and it always amazed me. Like Kai, like growing up, pretty much like talking about like 10, 15 years ago, like Kai Green. Even me and my wife, like when Kai Green posts a video, we watch that now.
Yeah.
You know.
So real quick, crazy story about the Kai thing, and it just goes to show anybody listening that you have no idea where your paths are going to cross. So when I joined Bev's back in 2012, 2011, I was training with my boy Ricky. And my boy Ricky and I were training this and that, and he was teaching me about all the bodybuilders. I had no idea. It was a new world for me. And Kai walks in, and Kai was going there regularly at that point. He goes, yo, dude, that's Kai Green, Mr. Olympia contender, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, shit. We took a picture with him. And I took a picture with him again a couple of years later, just solo. Mm-hmm. And the same thing happened with Flex. I took a picture with Flex Lewis up in Connecticut after I had competed up at the Connecticut show. We took a picture together at the gym. And then 3-4 years later, I'm shooting his videos. Same thing with Kai.
It's crazy.
I was a super fan of Kai back when he was competing and doing the Olympias, this and that, rooting for him every fucking time he competed at whatever show. And then now we're tight with each other. And we hang. And I got to be honest with you, I shoot a lot of people. And I don't want to make this about me because this is about you. But I shoot a lot of people. I shoot a lot of amazing companies. You are one of them. You're one of those amazing people.
Appreciate that.
And it's very hard to find people that are genuine when the camera is on and when it's off. You're one of those people. Kai Green, without question, is one of those people too.
He is who he is.
He just lifts you up. You want to just do better. You get motivated to just rise up when he's around. So you following him and watching his videos, stuff like that. Totally understandable. The way that he acts in there is exactly how he is off camera.
Yeah,
it's
I love the
awesome.
energy. The energy that not a lot of people can put on a mask and dance like that.
Oh,
especially
no, they can't.
a bodybuilder at his, like you need a big chest for that.
Oh yeah, you do.
And I like that.
Yeah.
Me and my wife she's been a huge fan of him. And I remember talking to you when we were doing the video.
Which one? The one at the gym?
Video.
Okay.
And I even said, hey, like if there's any way to get him down here, like
oh, that's right. Yeah.
That was my goal.
Yeah, and I said I can't guarantee anything, because his manager warned me when I first started shooting him. His manager warned me. He's just like, listen, people are going to try to get to Kai through you, and that's not what you're trying to do, like that. But it's like, anything that people ask me, it goes right to the mat. I just like, that's
I
his
even contacted Denise about it.
That's
Denise
his territory.
Ponce. Shout out to Denise.
Shout out to Denise Ponce. Yeah, I that's the territory over there. I like to stay super neutral with that type of stuff. It was even the same thing. Even the same thing after shooting Action recently, Action Bronson. People were like, "Oh my God, this and that." I was like, "Yeah, we're not like that. We're
it's business.
We talk to each other in and out. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Strictly business.
It's strictly business.
It's the right way to do it.
I'm not that guy that's gonna be texting him, "Hey, it's
hey,
like,
you free?
Yeah. If you want to do something, this and that." I'm never that guy. Like you got my number.
It's the right way to do it.
Hit me up when you're ready to do some shit, and we'll do some shit.
It's the right way to do it.
But anyway. Back to you. You said we met each other through that. Was the unique a fitness shoot our first shoot together? I think it was.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to do work together for the longest time for Hummus.
Yeah.
But it was like it's so hard getting all these athletes together in one place.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder than everybody thinks.
No, nobody gets it. And then when you're doing a shoot with all the athletes, exactly what I'm going to tell you, you're going to laugh because it's like. These 3 people are working out, and then everyone else is sitting around not doing anything. And then you're just kind of like, they're waiting for their turn to get on. And you're just like, well, why don't you just go work out? Just go work out. Nickel like and then nobody's working out. It's like, you just do what you do. That's the funniest part.
Remember that video we did for Hummus Fit
at South Shore? At South Shore, yeah. It was good, but that's what happens. Everyone just stands around, sits around, and you had me and 2 other photographers there.
Yeah.
So there was plenty of work to go around. Everyone should have just been fucking working out. Just work out. That's all you got to do.
That's it. It was super hard getting everyone there at that time, that day. Oh, I have this going on. I have that going on. It was like, all right, well, we have the shoot.
Yeah, we have the shoot. You're part of the team.
By the way, that was probably the dopest video.
Thank you, bro.
When that video dropped, you don't know how many people messaged me. It's like, oh, like hummus it's a movement.
Oh, yeah, it's
culture.
serious.
It's not just.
What was the tagline? Hummus is family.
Yeah.
Hummus is family, man.
And if you remember, we didn't tell any of the athletes what we were going to ask them. We sat them down. We asked them what hummus meant to them. And it was all
unscripted,
real,
same shit all the way down the line.
Nobody said, say this, say that. It was all it came all, from their hearts.
But that's what it is, authenticity. That's what happens with the video shoots too. It's like all these people that want these staged fake shoot. It's just, it doesn't work. So you have to be real. No one's an actor. I'm not an actor. You're not an actor. They're not actors. Like, you have to just come from the heart and just speak. Yeah. And then from there, it's like, it just showed every single person had the same answer.
And I still get the goosebumps when I watch that full video. I swear to God,
dude, it was a
love it.
It was a passionate thing, man.
Yeah,
and it was, and that's what you want out of that stuff. Once again, you're not forcing people to rep your meal company like all these other meal companies. Mm-hmm. You're not forcing these people to like post.
100%.
They're doing it authentically, dude. How many times have I gone in there just to like post about your food? And it's not even because I'm doing it to get kudos. I'm doing it because I want to see you succeed. And I tell everybody it's the best fucking food on Long Island.
Yeah, and you and Andre were talking about in the last episode.
Yeah.
Like, when you come in, when people like you come in, I love it. Like, it's I don't even see you as a customer. Like, your family, your energy comes in. I'm like, yo, it's Nick Rizzles. Like,
vice
Rizzles
versa
here for me, not like, I know he's hungry, but he's also
I'm always
here
hungry.
For me. But let's get back to what we were talking about.
How we started.
How it all started.
Yeah.
And I never really talk about my childhood or anything like that. So I want to talk about that a little bit here for the first time.
Open mic it. You have the floor.
So a lot of people, they start their life at 17, 18, right? I was forced to start it at 10. So I was born in Turkey, for a lot of people that don't know, and I lost my mother at 10. So that's when my life started, pretty much. That's when I had to become an adult, not
become the man.
I couldn't. Yeah, exactly. So at 11 years old, moved to the U.S. with my sister and my brother. Now, no parents.
I was about to say, Dad, no?
Nope. Just my brother and my sister. Shout out to them. My brother's like a father figure, and my sister's like a mother figure. So moved here with an American dream, thinking, New York City is what we see in movies. I'm about to have the best life. Ferraris.
The epicenter of it all.
Yeah. So that wasn't it. Moved in. We had a 1-bedroom apartment with a living room, living with 6, 7 people. Some of those guys I didn't even know. 11 years old, moved here. So my dreams were pretty much like crushed then. But like that's actually like, that's when I knew I had, like, this is not the life I want. This is not the life I came here for. So I always say, like, I was supposed to be a loser, like, in life.
The chips were against you.
Yeah, it was all against me and us as a family. So years go by, moved multiple times. But the American dream is real. Like, we want to make something out of this. You don't always get an opportunity to be able to come to the U.S.
Correct.
And a lot of people take that for granted. This is real. Like, we live really good in the U.S. We need to appreciate that. If you're from another country, you know what I'm talking about. So fast forward to my high school years. I worked. 12 years old. Did tile, did construction.
It's in your bones, man. It's in your bones.
I worked at a car wash at 13 years old. Holbrook Car Wash. It's just funny because now our Holbrook location is down the block. So almost crazy. Every day I have to look at that place, which I love.
It makes you appreciate it more, probably.
Of course, 100%. When my friends were going to parties, I was working. I worked at a gas station from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. every day, school days, 6 days a week, because I wanted to change my life. I wanted to change the life of my family. Because they were giving me, my brother and my sister were giving me so much that I said, this is not how we're going to live. Like, the goal was, we need to buy a house. We need to start living better. We can't just keep moving so much. Landlords, difficult landlords.
Bullshit.
Yeah, that was the goal. So towards the end of high school, my sister met my brother-in-law, who's my brother-in-law now, and who's also my partner in Hummus. And he wanted to start a business. And he's like, I have some money. What should I do? I said, at that age, I was like, let's do a hookah lounge. because that was the brightest idea for a 17-year-old.
Yeah, because it's an exciting environment
It's
for
exciting
you.
for me. So that started. We ran through that for 7 years. I didn't make any money for 7 years. That's the truth. A lot of people are always like, oh, like you have the life.
You must be raking it in.
Exactly. Didn't make any money, 7 years. So like the 6th year, it was getting to me like, I'm living in my sister's house, in a room. I've been dating Liana, who's my wife now, for years
Shout
now.
out to the queen. Shout out to the queen.
Shout out to wifey. So I started getting into fitness. Me and her both, loving it. And I said, I got to get out of this. Like Andre said, there was a lot of, it's hard dealing with drunk people.
I've heard
It's
many
hard.
stories. My mom used to
Difficult.
manage nightclubs in the Hamptons back in the day. She bought her first house when she was 21 years old. So my mom was a hustler too. So I get
I
it.
respect that.
Dude, I get it. And
Dude, when I see a power woman, like, it just, I love that.
single mom since I was 2, power. Like mom is queen. Like
And that's why you are the way you are.
I owe a ton to her, and I owe a ton to her father, my grandfather, who basically raised me. My dad and I have a very weird relationship. Not to derail, because I'm getting right back to you, but my dad and I have a very weird relationship. We're very friendly. That's more along the lines. It's not really a father-son dynamic.
Got it.
It's more of just like an acquaintance type thing.
Okay.
If we had to live together, it wouldn't have been a good situation.
Okay.
My dad's also sick. He's got multiple sclerosis, for those that don't know. Not making excuses for the guy and his behaviors and whatnot, but it does wear on him, and he does get short fused because of his situation and this and that. But I've only known him that way. He got sick, I think, a year into my mom. No, not even 6 months into my mom and him getting married, and they had me, I think, a year later. So it was like everything was very condensed and like explosion. New kid,
Yeah.
new illness, this and that. And I think just like they both had enough. But I'm thankful for it because my grandfather raised me. My mom, I grew up around business people. So like you said, that fire, that go-getter
Yeah.
type shit, that's what I was bred
that's
into.
just like my sister. The fire that you see, it changes you. Like, it changes you. When you see your mother go through what she was going through, single mom,
Even today, she's
it
working her
makes
ass
you
off.
want to, like, change things.
Yeah,
You
want
wanna
to
change it
I
for
want to.
her.
I want to make something out of myself with this business, so eventually one day I can take care of her and she can chill out. Here, Ma, you want a Bentley? Take it. I got you. Oh,
Take it, yeah.
Bills are paid. House is paid off. Like I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
And I
man.
know you're a humble guy. So if this works out, you make all the money. I know you're not gonna start buying this and that. You're gonna take care of your mother.
Yeah, man.
100%.
You got it. That's the dude. I'm still living at home. I'm 30 years old, man. I'm still living at home.
Doesn't mean anything.
Correct. And it's not that I'm like ashamed of it because I talk about it freely. I talk about it openly. My mom is not forcing me out the house, and I'm not running out of the house to go pay rent because all of my money goes to my business. This is my rent if I lived somewhere else.
100%.
If I worked a main job and I got my check every week and I didn't have to worry about any business expenses, this is my rent. This is my living on my own and being able to
Exactly.
save up. But I know that in 10 years, I'll be able to do more than that guy that just settled for that one job and got out of the house 5 years earlier.
Exactly. Like if you got out of the house at 25, you're paying rent, but you're not starting anything like this.
2-3 G's a month, man. I got
Well,
like
you're
$100,000
behind
worth of shit. I got $100,000 worth of shit in this room.
That's it.
Yeah, so like this
That's
is
an
my money.
investment.
This is my
a
money.
Business. It's an investment. It's a risk. So if it's not today, it might be tomorrow or next year.
Or
It's gonna
20 years.
pay-
Or
yeah, it's
20
gonna-
years. Who knows? It'll
it's
pay
gonna
dividends over and over itself. But you have
100%.
to grind it out at
100%.
first.
That's why, like, when some people are like, "Oh, I'm like, 30 years old. Look at you. You're married." Bro, everyone's in their own lane.
Everyone's got Stop comparing everyone's journey.
Exactly. Everyone's journey is different because at 21 years old, I didn't go out on a Friday night. I never went out on a Friday night between 17 through 27. When my friends were going out, half the time I couldn't because I had the hookah lounge. My friends would come in, I had to serve them. So, everyone's the age thing, everyone's in their own lane, their own time, and your time will come.
Yeah, little by little. I tell people, I'm just getting warmed up. We're just getting warmed
That's
up.
it.
Everybody, even you, man.
Hey, of course.
You got bigger shit coming down the line. I know it. You're not a
Bro,
guy
we're
that
gonna-
stays still. I know it.
Yeah.
You-
There is no
compounding.
I'm never content.
Yeah.
Like let's get back to what I was saying. So, the hookah lounge was it a failure in a business point? Maybe, but as a person, it made me, a better person. I met hundreds of people. My network got better. Although I didn't make money, but
Your people skills probably got
so much
compounded
better.
too.
So much better. So we said, it's time to, at some point, you got to take your losses and take it somewhere else. So we said, you know what, let's open up a restaurant. I'm into fitness. Mediterranean food is what we know, although we didn't know how to cook.
Okay.
That's the scary part. Me or my brother-in-law didn't know how to cook. We said, we're business people now. We can get this going. So we opened up Hummus. I think it was first 2 weeks, our main chef left us. We built the whole menu. We opened up. Our chef left us. Why? No reason.
Just dipped.
Just dipped one day. Good thing I have my cousin, who we got a job for at another Mediterranean place years ago. So he kind of knew what he was doing. He came right on board. He said, you know what? Like, you guys are family.
He was ready to rock and roll.
Ready to rock and roll. And from that day on, it was like, all right. He taught me how to cook every single thing. He said, you're going to know how to cook because me and you are going to make the best duo. So a year into Hummus, we're
and this is what year?
This is 2015.
Okay.
We started in 2015. 2016, March, we're failing horribly. Like, we're literally, I had a hookah lounge at the time still. We're gearing away from the hookah lounge, selling it in a couple months. We had a vape shop with my brother, making some money there, putting it towards Hummus. Making money there, putting it towards Hummus. So it was another like...
You're funneling it in.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
so
that's
it
the
was like
revenue
deja
stream
vu.
to keep it afloat almost.
It was like deja vu with the hookah lounge. So Hummus was failing. We all sat down as a family. We said, all right, listen, we have like 2 months. If this thing doesn't take off, we got to walk away now. We wasted 7 years, didn't make any money. And my brother and my sister still had their second jobs during the day. So...
And what were they doing?
My brother-in-law worked for a vitamin company.
Cool.
And my sister was a chemist.
Okay.
But she still is. She's like a head chemist. Went to school for that. Kudos to her. But we said that, right? We said we have about a month. We put a deadline. If things don't work out, we just wash our hands, walk away. But I think it was like 2 weeks into it. Open doors, another day, regular day. There's a line out the door where we go from literally no customers to line out the door at Hummus. This is at the Holbrook location, first location, only location. And like, we're all looking at each other, like, what's going on? Like, there's a line. Like, we've never seen a line in this place. After we said we were going to close down, like, we didn't announce anything. It was all between us. After that day, I don't know if it was like God's way of saying,
stick with it.
Stick with this. Things just started getting better and better. And we just kept working harder and harder, making things better.
So nothing changed. You didn't do anything. The line just formed the next day.
Nothing. We didn't.
That's
same
wild.
Marketing, same picture posting, same thing. We didn't do anything. We closed the door. I think it was a Wednesday night. We closed the door. We came back Thursday. That Thursday, I'll never forget. It was me working the front with another employee.
And this is all the hot. And this is before the meal preps, obviously. So this is just the hot lunch and hot food.
So let me squeeze that in. So we opened Hummus, and as Liana was competing at the time. So a lot of people were asking for diets, and there wasn't a lot of companies out there like for meal prep. So a lot of people trusted in Liana. They wanted food from her. At first, she started cooking for people out of her house.
Yeah.
But as she started doing that, a lot of people more people wanted meal preps. So she asked to use the kitchen at Hummus. So I was like, all right, it's a business. I charged Liana, who was my girlfriend at the time. It was like $20 an hour to use the kitchen because I didn't want her to feel like it was a free ride either.
Hard work all around.
Yeah, so she knows. So she had like 6-7 clients, which we're talking about like 200, 300 meals.
Yeah.
So she got overwhelmed. She was like, listen, I can't do this by myself. So she kind of like stopped the meal prep thing. It was like mid-June. And
June of what year?
2015.
Cool.
Right when we
Same
started.
year. Okay, cool.
Yep. And in August, I was like, listen, like, people are coming inside the store looking for these meals that you were making, asking. They were all, type of bodybuilder type of diets, because that's what she was doing. She was competing. So that's what she knew. But so I talked to her. I said, look, people want this. She's like, I can't do it by myself. I'm like, hey, we're failing. I mean, we have nothing else to do. Let's do it. So she came up with a menu. She's very knowledgeable when it comes to macros, food, meal prep. She came up with a menu, 5 items. I still remember, it was like pulled barbecue.
I was about to say, run it down for me,
bro. Pulled barbecue chicken, which is still on the menu.
Yep.
We had a burrito bowl.
Okay. We
had a spaghetti meatball bowl. And then we had 1 salad. And then I think the 5th one was a buffalo wrap.
Okay.
She used to make this amazing buffalo chicken, which was healthy. So I was like, all right, this was the menu.
This is it. Right out the gate.
We started with the menu, and I was getting calls left and right, oh, I need this many meals. I need that, this, that. But people were texting me their orders.
Yeah, so you lose track. It gets too fucking crazy.
It was getting crazy.
Yeah, you're like,
we were making meals all day long, and then I was like, all right, I can't do this. I need to have people email this. So people started emailing their orders. And that got even crazier, because the word started going around these guys are making good food.
They're helping us stay in shape and stay in fitness.
Exactly.
Because nutrition, what's the motto you had on the shirts?
20% workout, 80% diet.
There you go. So that 80% diet takes 110% planning.
Yeah.
And to get it on point so that you know what you're eating, at what time, where you're getting your sources from, this and that. It takes a fucking lot of time, man. When I was meal prepping for my shows, dude, 2-3 hours sometimes, just cooking, waiting for things to bake, coming in, to have somebody that can just start alleviating some of that time. There may be a premium on it, but that premium is the value that you have at your time to go towards other things, like editing, like your job, shoot. You're able to do other things now and have that clean food coming to you. So it makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. So we were growing on that aspect, but not the restaurant. So a couple months later, it just wasn't. It didn't make any sense. We were like, all right, we're gonna close up. That's when that Thursday happened. Line out the door, and ever since that day, I mean, I don't know what changed that day. What happened that day?
That's wild.
When I tell the story, a lot of people don't believe it. They always want to know, how did hummus get here? That day was probably the biggest change.
Now imagine you closed the day before. How fucking crazy that been?
You come so close.
One day, and that's
it.
So
close.
And you hit what you've been looking for a year or 2 years.
Yeah. So things started looking better, and me and my cousin, who was the main chef, we decided, look, we need to look more into the meal prep thing. People love our food. I was knowledgeable. I'm in the fitness industry. I've been around for a couple of years now. I used to go to a World Gym in Mount Kokomo, which closed down. It used to be literally it was a mini Bev's. Old school, it was my first gym I ever signed up to.
Similar to what was the World Gym in Oceanside? Not Oceanside. It was a World Gym by Babylon too.
Yeah.
Similar
Very
feel.
similar feel.
Baby Bev's.
Yeah, it's like Baby Bev's, and you see big meatheads, muscle guys. That was the first gym I ever signed up to. I didn't know what I was getting myself in. I was like, it was a motivation, but I'm like, damn, I'll never look like these guys. I started the gym chunky.
Me too, man.
So, but a lot of people from that gym started coming and supporting.
That's
saying
awesome.
The couple that comes to this gym and works out, they got a little meal prep thing going on. Let's go support. So that's when we decided, we're going to focus a little more on this meal prep thing. We're going to add stuff on, go ahead with it. So after that, it was we were just getting better and better.
You're coming up with cool names and different concepts.
Cool names, concepts. And at the time, I was actually a little younger. So we have bowls like Bro Science Bowl.
Still have it.
You remember Don Mazzetti?
Yeah.
The guy who used to make
yeah, of course.
So the Bro Science Bowl, cool names like that. And I mean, I loved what I was doing. We were just having way too much fun, building this, seeing the response from the customers. It just kept the fuel going.
And that's also a great thing, just to comment on a point. You know, a lot of companies forget that like your customer feedback is huge. And if you're just gonna keep putting your head down and doing whatever the fuck you're doing, and it may kind of be working but not working fully, you need to like adjust and be able to pivot and
100%.
do things
And you
as
need
the
to be
customers come in
able
and
to
say things.
I mean, I used to take stuff
Criticism, yeah.
personal, and like I used to lose sleep over it. But
That's how I was with my
you
videos
need
in
to
the
really
beginning.
learn to hear certain things. Like, hey, dude, like I ate that meal, I didn't like it.
And not just listen to answer, actually listen.
Yeah, listen, and like, you know what? Yeah, like every meal isn't for every single person. You might like that taste, you might not. But you have to listen to that. You need to say to yourself, like, can I make anything better? Always. We get it all the time. I have customers that come in, they come weekly. They get tons of, meals. They'll come to me and rave about certain meals. And the next week they'll be like, oh, I tried the other meal. Like, it's just not for me. You need to be able to hear that. You can't just say, you have to detach your heart from your business, kind of.
And from your ego too.
Exactly. You know what? I don't have an ego, bro. I never did.
You've always seemed
I
very,
never
you've
did.
always seemed very neutral.
Whether, I don't have an ego. Like,
and that's good, man.
Like you see me at Hummus, I'm drenched in like,
dude, you're back there working with everybody.
Exactly.
Nobody would know you're the owner. And
No,
that's the way it
nobody.
should be, because that's a leader. That's not a boss.
No, I don't go out there saying, no, I'm the owner of this place or anything like that. I work the front like I'm one of the employees, and that's it. I love that. So when people have an ego in anything, I just don't understand.
Yeah, acting like royalty, like everyone should be beneath, that everyone is beneath them. That's how a lot of do. That's how a lot of my other fucking jobs are, and I know you could probably attest to that over the years of working with different people
Of
in
course.
4 different companies and whatnot. That's how a lot of these fucking places are. Best Buy was like that. Apple, not so much. I worked mostly retail jobs, but my last job, man, the one before. Well, I sold copiers for a little while. That was horrific. I love the guys that I worked with, but that industry just sucked. But you actually probably know Casey.
What's
Casey Gerhard? He's boys with Dave.
Oh yeah.
So I worked for Casey for a little while. He was great. I loved
Okay.
working for him. I just didn't like selling copiers. It just sucked.
Okay.
It was a fucking grind.
Yeah.
But before that, I sold audio video systems, and I sold in-home IMAX theaters for people in the Hamptons. I was a Hampton rep.
Okay.
I was the only Hampton rep in the company. Now, when I joined the company, the owner didn't tell me that his cousin, who's also part owner, and the other guy who was a bought-in partner are the main salesmen. So unless you know people, you're not going to get any fucking, you're going to get scraps.
Yeah.
And my quota was like 1.5-2 million a year. And I just got into this industry. I had to learn architectural designs, building plans, networking with architects and builders, and going to job
They
sites.
just threw that at you.
And the system design. Like, dude, the first 2 months, he brought me to all of his meetings and all of his job sites. And then after that, it was literally just, okay, here's your quota, 1.5-2 million a year, get at it. And after, I think, a year, I had 700,000, 600,000 out. And he was just like, yeah, it's just not enough. And it was just that impending, just like getting stabbed in the back, but it was your own boss stabbing you in the back. So I was just like, man, this isn't how you're supposed to, especially coming from Apple.
You're supposed to be a leader. Like,
Apple had this amazing thing called fearless feedback. It was so corny when I was there. I used to laugh at them. But then after leaving that company and going to work for a guy like that, I was like, you guys need to incorporate some fearless feedback, because it is
What is it?
crazy in here. So let's say I'm a janitor. I could, and that's not even to say that's the lowest position at a company, but let's just say I'm a janitor and you're the CEO of the company, and I see that you did something wrong with a customer interaction, something like that, or something. So the way that you did something was incorrect in how you go about your culture of the company. My job is to now go up to you and just go, hey, do you mind if I give you some feedback? And the premise of fearless feedback is you have to say, of course, please give me the feedback. And you have to sit there and be receptive. You can't be closed off. You can't be a dick. You can't say, no, I don't want to fucking hear it because you're not me. You have to understand that this person's coming from an outside perspective, just saying, this is what I saw. This is how I think you should change it. And that's it. That's my feedback. That's it. That's all it is.
I love that.
It's really cool now that I think about it now.
Yeah.
It was
It
a
can
real,
make a company Much better.
Yes, just to have somebody go, hey, listen, I heard how you spoke to that customer, that client. This is how you should go about it today. And you could be having a shitty day, and you hear somebody say that, and you go, wow, I guess I'm projecting out more than I should be. Okay, cool. I'm gonna step back and I'm gonna reevaluate.
Exactly.
But you can't have, like you said, you got to be humble. You got to be like you. No
Gotta
ego,
be.
super disconnected from the ego and the heart. You got to just like roll with the punches and go, that's cool. I get it.
Of course. I mean, I listen to. I'll go to my randomest staff that has nothing to do with, let's say, the front. I'll go and talk to him about it. Like, hey, like, what do you think about this? Like, we're doing this. Because he's watching. He's not just doing whatever he needs to do in the back. He's watching what goes on in the front. And he'll give me feedback. He'll tell me, like, stop doing this. I think you should do this.
Yeah, you got some fearless feedback right there.
You need to be a little more tough on these people. And some of my staff who are going to watch this, they'll agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, we talk all day long. And the reason why I talk to my staff about a lot of the business end stuff for two reasons. I want to know their feedback because there's going to be a lot of stuff. They're the frontliners that speak to the customers. They give feedback. And also, they watch kind of from the outside. I also want to teach them, like, how to do business, how to be an entrepreneur. I had this one kid who started working at 14 years old. We don't usually hire 14-year-olds, but his sister, I went to high school with her. Nicest girl, hardest worker I knew. So we got him the job.
Gave him an opportunity.
Gave him the opportunity. I know he's going to watch this. So we did a podcast with him. He was soft. When I say soft, one of these young kids protected by
how they're getting
parents,
how they're getting raised today.
Yeah,
essentially,
exactly.
Is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel that. Andre started off the podcast with "We're breeding pussies," so we get it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
You don't have to say that,
yeah,
but we get it.
Yeah, and it kills me to see that. So, and I told his sister, like, I'm gonna turn this kid into a man. She said, please. So, his first week, he was washing dishes. He started as a dishwasher. I get a phone call to the restaurant. Oh, hey, it's Lewis's mom. I'm gonna come pick him up. He doesn't really feel well. So I'm on the phone. I'm looking at this kid. I'm like, he looks totally fine to me. I'm like, okay. So I said, Louis, like, why don't you tell me you didn't feel good? Whatever. So after that day, I just kept going on. I'm like, Louis, like, do you have what it takes? You call your mom when you don't feel well like this. So he started soaking all that in. Kid turned 16, 17. And now he works for he's 18 now. He works for a financial advisory office doing like this incredible stuff. He left Hummus like maybe 6-7 months ago, but on very good terms. Comes in once a week, talks to me about, business, how to do things. And throughout years, I would always mentor him. Say, look, this is why you don't do this. This is why you do this. And he took that in. And now he's like, he's on fire. And I love seeing that.
You're not just having staff. You're coaching people up.
Exactly. Like,
you're making and in turn, you're making the community better too, because you're almost taking in people that, not to say they didn't have what it takes right when they get there, but like you said, they might be a little soft. They might not know the ins and outs, the intricacies of business and what they need to do and how to hold themselves accountable and this and that. And then they leave your place, whether it's because, like you said, good terms, whatever it might be, different job opportunity, and it's still a cordial invitation back to the restaurant, and they're a better person in society because of it. So the hard work effect.
Employees, maybe one or two left on bad terms.
Out of how many years? Out
of 7 years, hundreds of employees, 99.9% of them will still come and visit me.
That says something.
And I love that.
I don't want to visit any of my old bosses.
I love that. They'll come in or they'll message me holidays when I had a kid. It's just, I love that. It's like family.
That's what you said. You're building family stuff. You're not just building a business.
Teach. Like, I'll go talk to my staff about shortages that we're going through right now, food shortages. At first, they'll be like, why is this guy talking to us about this? And then 2 days later, they'll come to me and like, hey, did you hear about this food shortage that's coming up? Did you hear about this? So like,
You have
What
eyes,
they
and,
don't
you have eyes and ears for the business
exactly.
everywhere.
Certain things I think should be taught in elementary and middle school. How to do your taxes, how to manage your money, your budgets. We should be teaching that stuff.
And we're teaching pointless shit half the time.
You know, you can't work 15 hours at 20 years old and live with that. How to, you know, don't go buying your favorite Nike shoes with that.
Don't go just spending the money frivolously.
Exactly.
You got to actually be able to bank some and invest some and keep some, and you know, just think about where you want to go, because that money is your ticket to getting to the next level in some ways. You know, it's you know, I forget the term. It's a finite resource technically, but it is infinite in certain ways. So you have to just learn how to use it to your advantage to make it infinite and build it up. 100%. So this way, it just the money compounds and makes itself. They don't teach any of that shit in high school, middle school.
Yeah.
There is so much shit that I had no clue how to do. I went to school for public relations, and I couldn't get a job in public relations, and I wound up picking a camera up, and I was good at it. And YouTube was my college teacher, and just figuring shit out and playing with it.
You can learn a lot on YouTube.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like,
I'm on YouTube almost every night, and my wife is like, "What are you watching? Like, why are you watching the weirdest stuff?" Like, how is pasta made, or how is this made? That's actually
different techniques.
That's actually one of my favorite shows. You should look it up.
How things are made?
Yeah.
Or is it specifically how
it's called
pasta?
How It's Made.
That's cool.
And it's like hundreds of videos, like professional videos. You think it might not apply to you, but that stuff applies to you throughout life. Like, you know, how is this made? How is, you know, corn oil made? She's like, why do you care about that? But like one day, that one day comes and I'm like, oh, this is how this is supposed to be. Oh, this is why this is like that. She's like, why do you know that? So YouTube,
you like YouTube University,
YouTube, bro, YouTube, it's free.
YouTube, send the check. Let's go.
YouTube, it's free knowledge. You're learning for free.
That's what you know. That's what that's one of the things I said when John Meadows passed. I was asked to do a video just talking about my experiences with John. And the thing that I said was, the first thing I came across his channel in 2011, 2012, I was looking at this guy's page, and he had hundreds of videos teaching you how to do things. Walking through a grocery store, what you should and should not avoid. Like, what do you have to do? How to do a leg press, how to do curls, like that. Just his methods and how to do it. And I said, this should have been paid content, but it wasn't. He wanted to give it out, not only to grow his channel, because there is another side to it. You do want to grow your channel and this and that, but this is free. It's amazing that it's free content. He could be charging $40, $50 a month to subscribe to this thing. He's pumping out 2 to 3 videos a week. This is gold. This is what you literally would pay a coach to tell you, and you're getting it for free right here.
Yeah.
Absorb it all. Learn everything. I watch everything. I don't give a shit. I watch graphic design stuff. I can't draw for shit. I can barely make a stick figure, but I think it's cool to see the process, just as people probably don't understand how much goes into shooting and video stuff. It's the same thing. You watch stuff like that and you go, oh shit, okay, that's why it costs X amount of dollars. That's why.
And you respect that.
You start respecting people for
their work.
I respect the fuck out of chefs, man. It is not easy. Making food taste good is very difficult, and be healthy. That's the adverse for you. Yeah. A lot of chefs could just make food and make it taste good, and it's dog shit for you. But to make it taste good and be healthy for you, and be accountable to some degree, because I'm sure there's a certain fluctuation in the macros, +5, ±5, whatever it might be. But to be pretty damn accurate to what you say on a label, that takes some shit, man. That takes some knowledge, and that takes practice.
That's important. Like when we come up with meals or a meal, we need to be 100%. Like calculations.
People are banking on you that you're 100% because they're sitting there. Just like me. I trust you guys. I'm putting that into my macro calculator if I eat one of your meals, and that's it. I know that it's X amount.
Exactly. It's not a 2-second thing. Like we need to make the same meal over and over and over again, then get the macros
and weigh it out.
Yeah,
that's the crazy part.
Exactly. And like I mean, we're not always lucky when it comes to business. Like authorities and stuff like that, which makes us better. Like last year, we opened up our main kitchen in Ronkonkoma for meal preps.
Dre told me he lives down the street from there.
Oh yeah, I think he gets his apartments according to where
you
are.
are. Yeah, because last time he was across from
literally,
which
he was
one?
Selden. He was across the street. He would come there, and now he went and got an apartment in between two stores.
Yeah,
and like he said, he literally will pop in like 4 o'clock. He knows the time too. He knows when everything gets cooked. He like times it perfectly. When he walks in, everything is right there. He'll grab himself a plate, just make things. And our staff in the back are like, who is this guy? Because they're not really in the bodybuilding. They're just like who is this guy? He's just walking in here,
taking chicken.
Yeah, with all the muscle he has. He's comfortable. He walks in like he's in his,
Hummus,
I love it.
Hummus is family.
Yeah, man. That's why I love Dre too. He's just pure.
Yeah,
the guy is just 100%
straight shooter, man. That's what I like. That's why that's why the three of us get along. It's just straight shooters.
He'll come and tell me how it is, and I appreciate that. I'll never say no. Like one day he walked in a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, I don't know. I was just annoyed at a couple things, nothing to do with hummus, and it was like people. So he walks in and he's like, why are you stressing over that? So he starts, laying it down, the truth. He's like, you're taking stuff way too personal. He's like, you need to step back. You're taking it way too personal. It's business. That's how you got to look at it. And at the time, you're like, you don't want to really hear that. But as it sinks in, you're like, you know what? He's right.
Yeah. It's like,
he's right. And I love it. And no one else wants to sit there and tell me that.
Yeah, because everybody wants to sugarcoat it. That was like the question that he got. That kid trying to like stir some shit. Like, how do you feel that you can't beat that you don't have what it takes to beat Brandon? And like as I'm reading that question that the kid submitted, I just went, I'm trying to word this the right way. He goes, nah, fucking say it. He goes, just say it how it is, man. I'm like, all right, here you go. And he goes, what are you talking about? I beat Brandon. There you go. Next question.
Oh yeah,
it's like that's so
if
it's
you've been following. I mean, if
just
you
being
know
straight
Dre,
on.
if you're following Dre, like he's beating
pretty much everybody.
Yeah,
pretty much everybody.
Exactly. And it doesn't, to me, as his food sponsor, it means jack shit if Andre places first at the Olympia or 10th. I love Andre because of who he is and how he represents himself and our company. I don't think we're going to go from, X amount of worth company to an X amount if Andre wins the Olympia. I love it. And I love that he gets right back up. He takes his losses like
ready for the next show.
And honestly, sometimes I like when he loses because it's something different.
My man
goes and beats everybody in every pro show. If when I go on Instagram, Andre Ferguson won another show, I'm like, again.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't fire me up. But when I see a loss,
he's going to be turning it up. Again.
He's going to be turning up. He's going to, text me a day after the show. He's going to be like, yo, this is the new plan. This is what we're eating. Boom.
You're like, I got you. Done.
That's it. Done. He has this connection with my cousin, who's a chef at Ronkonkoma. He'll call up the store, say, yo, I need this. My cousin will cook it up exactly how he wants it because he likes his stuff like exact, seasoned this way. And it's the most boring thing ever. And I always tell him, like, yo, come on, man. Like, we have so much better food. So much. We could do other. No. I like it like this. Okay.
That's how I was when I was meal
and
prepping.
we'll get it ready within like hour and a half, 2 hours. And that's not just for Andre either. Any of the athletes, when hummus athletes need anything, they know I'm there. Whatever I could do, I'm there.
Yeah.
Because you represent us, we're gonna do that.
And once again, that's not just a partnership. That's a family right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's you. That's a cohesive relationship of not just giving or taking. It's both.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's just equally benefiting from that relationship.
100%.
So I want to get back into the business. So business starts booming.
Oh yeah, so
that's how we go. We kind of get derailed,
and
then we come right back.
I'm here.
So
I'm here with you.
Business started to boom. You started getting all the meal prepping stuff.
Yeah.
So and you had your first menu. That's where we left off. We had
the first menu. Things were just getting crazy. People texting me. So I said, yo, let's come up with an email where people email. So people start emailing. At this point, we're making meal preps and orders every day. There's no certain day you need to order by so things.
You're just pumping them out as you need them.
We were so hungry for business that you were able to customize your order, your meals, meal by meal, weighed. Like I want 3 ounces of spinach, 4 ounces of rice, and 7 ounces of chicken.
It's a lot of work.
A lot of work.
But you needed it. You needed
We
the business
needed
and
it.
you wanted to do it.
And my team knew, like, we needed it. So we were working literally day and night to get those orders in. Like, it takes about 30, 35 minutes to finish one order because they get their diets from a coach, boom, shoot it over to us. They don't even know what they're getting. They'll just shoot it over to us. We would make it. So it got to a point where it was like, our numbers are growing, customer base is growing, so we can't do the whole custom thing anymore. Why don't we come up with certain meals, like 40, 50 meals? Certain meals will be good for Nick Rizzle, who's trying to put on some size. Certain meals would be for fat loss. Certain meals would be for someone who wants, a six-pack. So we came up with that, and we said we need a deadline. Like, we can't just take orders in because we're not finishing them. We're there literally 16, 17 hours. Me and my cousin are cooking all night long. When the restaurant closed at 9 o'clock, me and him would start working. We'd start making meatballs. We'll leave there at 4 a.m., come back at 8 a.m., do the whole regular restaurant stuff, and then do that over again for next day.
Y'all hear this? Hard ass work.
And it's
no
not
handouts,
just me.
man.
It wasn't just
the team, not just Tony.
man.
The team.
I'm
hard
so
work.
blessed. We're so blessed to have the team that we've had. Especially my cousin, who's always there from our downs to our ups. Anytime, like even last week, my brother goes, we got to pull an all-nighter. That's it. Me, you, we're gonna pull an all-nighter.
Did you guys kick your feet and say no? I can't do it.
No, yeah, so my cousin goes, what do you mean? Like, I'm here. We're pulling an all-nighter. So we finished. They finished cooking. It's like 6, 7 o'clock. We're there between 7 to 2 a.m. Just pumping out the meals.
Hard ass work,
stuff,
man.
So, but there's no other way around it.
And you can't teach that either.
I can't. Me personally, I told you a little bit about myself. I know what being broke is. I know what poverty is from where I come from. So I have no other choice but to work my ass off because I know what I'll go back to. I can't go back to that.
And you got 4 mouths to feed, too.
Yeah, that's literally
in your direct circle.
Exactly. Direct first family. I have 2 sons and a wife.
And wifey. And you. You got to eat too.
Yeah, I got to eat too. It was funny, years ago, I used to always forget to eat. Literally, we were making hundreds of pounds of chicken, and I forget to eat. I would come home, and I'm like, oh, I'm so hungry. Leanna's like, you've been in front of food all day long. And I'm like, you don't think about it.
You don't.
When you're so focused on what you're supposed to do, and I work like a regular employee. I have to get in at a certain time. There's no 5 minutes later. I'm not late. I'm there every day, the same time, either before everybody or like literally with everybody. I don't feel good. You know what? Let me stay in for another. No. Every day, my wife knows I drop my son off to school and I get to work. She knows at that time I need to leave the house. She knows, like, I'm a staff.
Your schedule's impeccable.
Exactly.
You got it down to a science.
If I get there at, I don't feel it's a Saturday, let me not go in until like 10. No. Where the day starts for me at 4:30 a.m.
Tim Cook, CEO of Apple. His day starts at the same time.
Not because it's like if I want to get done what I need to get, like I want to work
productivity-wise, you got to get to.
If I want to work out, I need to dip into my own time.
Dad life, fitness life, business owner life.
Yeah.
You got 3 hats. And husband. You got 4 hats that you have to be able to juggle and take ownership of every single day. So I totally understand.
Yeah. That we should do an episode with business owners and fitness one day. Like,
let's do it.
Because a lot of people, they'll juggle around fitness crazy. Like, I know my wife. For her to work out, my little guy needs to be sleeping or he needs to be watching her. She's doing cardio.
You guys set it up at the house, right?
Yeah, now we have it at the house. And we were lucky we set it up before the pandemic.
Oh, so everything was like still relatively nicely priced.
She was pregnant with the first one. She's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to the gym, but I have to work out. So like, she'll be up all night with a newborn. And then during the day, she has to work out every day. So
maybe we get her on. We'll get the 3 of us.
Yeah.
We got extra mics.
I have a bunch of other business owner friends that they have no time, but they make time for the gym.
I would love to get them all on. I think that's what this podcast is. This podcast is just basic conversations. It's just us
Yeah.
having a conversation, super free form, no script, no agenda. It's just putting good people behind a mic and just being able to freely speak about their experiences because X amount of people watching, like 5 people watching, might benefit from that immensely and change their whole life or their whole outlook. Even if it's just one person, it doesn't matter. But I got to tell you, man.
love that. If this podcast changes one person's perspective or life in any way, I'd be happy.
It 1,000% will, because I'll tell you, this is going to be the 5th episode, because yesterday I posted George's episode from when we did the Voice and Rizzles, just as a tribute to him. And it was an amazing episode just to hear him speak and the kindness and whatnot. But this will be episode 5, and we're already getting hundreds of listens an episode. So we're going to get to that point of just having so many ears and eyes on this that you can't ignore it. And that's what I want.
I listened to the last episode with Andre, not because I knew Andre. It was like Saturday night.
He's like, what am I getting myself into?
1:30. It was like 1:30 at night. Liana's like, what are you doing? Like, and I had it mirroring to the TV.
Oh, nice.
So I'm like, literally, it's 1:30. She opens her. She's like, what are you doing? Like, it's 1:30. Like, I'm like, I have to finish this podcast. I love it. And,
thank you.
You know, you ask great questions. And I love that there is no script.
No agenda.
How many times did we text before I came here?
Like
within the last week of confirming we're gonna be on.
I will tell you exactly. Okay. One from this week, right?
This week when you asked
you said, "Where's the location?" And then I told you the location. I said, it might be a little bit of a hike for where you are. And you said, it's all good, bro. I appreciate you for having me. Let me know what time Tuesday, and we'll rock with that. Then I answered you that day. I said, Tuesday, 11 o'clock. And you go, sounds good, bro. See you Tuesday. And then this morning you texted me. And you said, hey, I'm going to be leaving at 10:15.
I didn't know what you were going to ask me.
No.
What I was going to be.
Because there is none of that.
Exactly.
It's just,
I love this.
Because it's just an interesting conversation regardless. It's us talking as if the cameras weren't here, but now we just have mics in our face and cameras sitting here.
It's just
so it's nice. It's nice. All right, so I gotta know. So like the hummus name and everything like that. You came to it because you love the Mediterranean side of it.
The reason why we chose hummus,
because I get people that are confused when I sell them.
I know.
And I know you're gonna say that you know. When I get people they're like, what meal prep service do you recommend? Every single time, without fault, I say hummus. I say Hummus Fit.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 times. That's
and
what.
they're probably like.
And they go.
Only Mediterranean
they just serve
food.
hummus. Like that's the meal. I go, no. You gotta go to the website, check it out.
I know. We were too deep in when we realized, like, listen, we can't change the name at this point.
Yeah, you're branded already.
We've branded, and I love it. When people ask, like, oh, you're supposed to be like Hummus Fit, is this only like Mediterranean meal preps? And they'll look at our menu and like, wait, I thought this was supposed to be hummus. I'm like, no, this all started because we were failing with the restaurant and we started making healthy food. And we just put fit. It's from hummus, but it's fit. That's Liana actually came up with that. I was making some salads, sending her a picture. She's like, you should post this, saying like Hummus Fit. I'm like, okay. So we did that, and then the meal prep thing came months after that.
Isn't that crazy how things just that work out?
She used to be the only she used to be the only packer for the meal preps. Like me and my cousin would cook. She would make the meals, put it in the front. Make the meals, put it in the front. Until one day it was like, she's like, yeah, like the 16, 17-hour days.
I can't do 900 meals a day, man. You got to help me out.
She would put out meals. I remember that summer very well. She would put out a line of meals, go in the back. 5 minutes later, I would come and say, like, when are you going to put that meal out? She'd say, like, I just did. They were just flying off. I think that's when she lost it. She's like, you got to hire somebody. You got to, with me.
We got to work in conjunction, but like this can't all be on me now.
Yeah, exactly. But she's a leader, man. If it wasn't for her,
you need that. You need strong people around you.
My cousin and her. She kept us in line. She would tell my cousin and you guys got to cook this and this and this today. All right, that's it. Me and him are working. We get her the stuff. Boom. And when she got pregnant, and she worked till.
I was about to say, how long into the pregnancy was she working?
Man,
'Cause
like we were
'cause I know
trying
she
to
wasn't
have her
stopping.
leave. It was like 8.5 months. Like she was due any minute. Her belly was out, making the muffins, barely able to carry the tray because her belly's out.
Liana, your stomach keeps scraping the grill. You gotta go.
Like-
You gotta go sit down.
You know, and I took a picture of her one day. I'm like, this looks bad. She would come in the front to help a customer, and I see the customer's eyes like, oh, this girl's belly is hitting the counter, and she's trying to help me. So I told her this one day. She got upset with me. I'm like, listen.
It's not that I don't want you here.
Yeah, and you know how girls are. You can't say you're too big, even if they're pregnant with like 6 in there.
Luckily, I haven't had to worry about that yet. So
That's how they get.
I
what are you
appreciate
trying
the
to
insight,
say?
'cause I'm
what
gonna
are you
need it one
trying to
day.
say? I'm like, listen, like it doesn't look that good. It looks like everyone knows you're my wife. It kind of looks like I'm forcing you to work.
yeah,
You got to start taking off.
get behind the counter. Go serve the meals.
Yeah, so whatever. We talk her down, and she decides the last 2 weeks she's going to relax. And I get to the gym one morning. She wasn't there. And some guy comes up and he's like, oh, dude, I saw your wife squatting yesterday. I'm like, my wife? I'm like, no, she's pregnant. Like, she's about to give birth. He's like, no, that was your wife. I know who your wife is. So I get home. I'm like, you're really squatting, like, still? She's like, yeah. Like, she's like, oh, someone said it will help me induce. I'm like, no, let's not do that again.
Did you see?
She's so-
Side note: did you see the woman that went to Bev's a couple weeks, like a month or two ago? Pretty popular woman. I have to find her video because I definitely don't have it
She's
on
pregnant?
standby. Bro, she is way pregnant and she's squatting like 315. I'm like, I'm not a doctor and I'm not going to judge you because I think everybody's entitled to just do what they want. But
Yeah.
I don't know how good that is pressure wise. But she was. I didn't comment. I didn't like it. I just like viewed.
Nah, I don't
And then-
think it's, I mean,
And then I looked at the comments and everyone was fighting. I'm like, whatever you
yeah,
want to do.
everyone has their own opinion. If
And
she
whatever you
feels
want to
good,
do, then
At the end
God
of the day,
bless.
If she feels good, she feels good. Like, it's not like,
I was like
we're
315.
not in her
I'm
head.
more-
We're
I'm
not
more-
in her body. If she could do it, bro, like,
I'm more
kudos.
upset that I can't squat 315 right now
350
clean.
period. Exactly.
I'm like,
I'm
damn,
more
and you-
jealous
And
of
you're
that.
pregnant? Fuck. I'm like, Jesus, I'm slacking.
Yeah. I mean, no one knows. I don't
Yeah.
think there's a bad she was squatting.
It was Liana.
My son did
was it
come
was it
out a
Liana
little
with
crazy.
but no,
He is.
ready to lift.
He's ready to, wreck the room if he's in here. So
Let's
Maybe.
keep him out of here then.
oh yeah, no, you wouldn't have any of this.
A lot of
stuff.
expensive shit going on in here.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. He'll break.
Luckily, Kenji is very delicate when he walks around, like in the middle of a podcast. If he was here right now, it's the second one I haven't brought him. I feel terrible because his face is on the podcast
brought him.
artwork. I know.
I know, Mike. You know what my cousin
I had
says?
I had to get the haircut because
He's,
I knew Tony was gonna come in here shredded to the gills under that hoodie and that crew neck, and I knew that I at least had to have everything kept up
Nah, you
top
look
nice.
handsome.
Thank you, brother.
My cousin's into crypto, so when he sees that I'm gonna come on the show, he's like, "Oh, what's up with the Dogecoin on here?" I'm like, "No, man." I'm like, "It's his dog." He's like, "No, it's the meme coin." I'm like, "No, it's his dog."
Shiba Inus or Dogecoin.
Oh, is it?
Kenji's an Akita.
Oh, okay.
He looks like an XL Shiba. I used to have a Shiba.
okay.
But I have that all the time. I'll be walking him down the street and someone will scream, Dogecoin to the moon. I'm just like, hey, he's not that, but
It's
thank
not
you. I
that, but
appreciate it.
yeah. I mean, that's what I would think. I don't know too much about the crypto world.
Yeah, dude, I'm the biggest wussy when it comes to stock trading and stuff like that. I'm so conservative with everything because I work too hard for my money to just lose it on bets.
I know, especially crypto.
Bro, crypto, I think I have $100 of Bitcoin that I just
Yeah.
bought. I was like, okay, $100.
Yeah,
and
maybe
I have
I'll
like
be a millionaire.
400 of Ethereum. There you go. Sit there. If it does something, great. If it doesn't, I can stomach that.
Exactly.
I can stomach it.
Exactly. I could do that, but like, I know a couple of guys. They've lost big. Just imagine,
Sick thinking about it.
dude. You put in, let's just say X amount, $1,000 at 11 o'clock before you went to bed. You bought Ethereum, and you woke up like you have $200 left, and you had no control over that.
None.
I mean, I can't deal with that.
No, I can't stomach it. I can't
I
stomach
mean,
it.
I work too
play
hard for that.
I play safe. I don't gamble. I went to Vegas for the Olympia a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I went with an ex, and she's over there just fucking betting on roulette and shit like that. Everyone asked me when we got back, they're like, "Oh, what were you guys down or shit like that?" She's like, "I'm down like 400 or 300, whatever she was down at the time." They go, "Nick, what about you?" I go, "I don't know, I lost like $30. That's it."
Yeah.
They go, "How much did you put in?" I go, "I don't know, 50, 60."
Yeah.
I'm not good with losing money. I think of the money that I'm betting now, and I'm like, well, that could have been towards a new computer, or that could have been towards a new camera, or this and that, a new mic stand. Like, there's a lot of
I
stuff.
used to gamble years ago. We used to go to Atlantic City. I
Okay.
used to manage some nightclubs around here, and 22, 23 years old, making like $600-700 a night.
Little
Like, what
disposable
do you-
income.
Yeah, like what am I gonna do with that? I would take Liana. We were young. I would take Liana to Atlantic City almost every weekend. That's when she learned how to gamble. Now she gambles every time we go. I don't gamble anymore. I'm like, nah, it's not. I worked way too hard for that. I don't care about the rule. I'll watch you though. I'll watch you.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I've never been to Atlantic City. I went to the casinos in New
Mohegan?
Orleans
Okay.
in when did I go?
Never been.
July. I gotta be honest with you. New Orleans, kind of a shithole. Didn't really enjoy it.
Really?
Didn't like it.
Bourbon Street, all that?
Nope, didn't like it. I liked the old French Quarter. That was cool.
Okay.
Super rustic shops, like old school artwork
See, I
and
like that
books.
stuff.
That was cool. That's at like, if you're looking at New
like
Orleans, if you're looking at it straight and Bourbon Street's running along the top, it's like the bottom right by Cafe Du Monde, right where they have the beignets. But
Okay.
beignets are literally just Zeppelis.
Yeah.
So I found that hysterical. Everyone's making such a big deal about it. I'm like, yo, we're all Italian from New York. They were for a bachelor party.
Yeah,
Like, we're all Italians from New York. We eat Zeppelis every Christmas holiday
New
time.
York food is great. When you leave New York, that's when you start appreciating.
You get like a snob, man. You get snobby.
Yeah.
I go to other places. Like, I'm gonna be in LA tomorrow. I'm like excited for tacos. That's about it. I don't know what else. Who's got better sushi, New York or LA?
I've never been to LA, but I have a good idea for you.
Tell me.
We just started a new way of packaging our meals. They're vacuum sealed, so I can hook you up a couple meals.
Oh.
So instead of eating those tacos, I got you better tacos, bro.
Oh, listen, man. You let me know what it is, and we go from there, bro. I would love to. I got to stay on track because Papa has to get trimmed now.
Yeah.
Now that I got the beard,
Rizzles from back in the day.
yes. Now that I got the beard and everything like that, I need a nice.
Remember
slim
when you
face.
showed me those pictures?
Yeah,
I didn't know
dude.
you competed. You're like,
Shredded.
dude, I just compete. I'm like, oh, really? Let me see.
Yeah, man. 150 pounds on stage. I'm like 215 now.
150.
I need to be 190ish. That's my
You
my
can do it.
comfortable weight. But I'll tell you what is not going to help me get to the 190s is if I keep eating those Buffins. So you
One
guys
a
tell
day. You got to do one a day.
you got to tell me what was the theory, and I need to know everything about those, and I need to know about the overnight oats because to me, I love your meals, but those two, if I leave
Those
your
are-
if
yeah,
I
those
leave
are
your
a big-
store without one or the other, I've lost. I've
Those
lost
are
a life.
a big hit. So Liana's always been into baking, but healthy, like extra healthy. She would make me pancakes that were like paper thin because they had no carbs with like egg whites and all that. So she started making brownies and muffins, but the muffins tasted really good. They didn't taste like they were, healthy or tasteless
or low carb or whatever
exactly.
have you.
So one day I'm like, listen, why don't we start making these? We get, we don't have any snacks at Hummus. We only have the meals. So she's like, well, they don't really rise. She's like, I can't make them big. They always come out small. I'm like, well, you got to do something. You got to work it out, make them look, nice, presentable. So it took about 3 months for her to nail
Perfect it.
perfect it. Because
And don't you dare reveal secrets. Never.
You know what? Like I'm transparent, but whatever goes in, it's just there's something about like the muffins and the overnight oats that we make. Even I had a manager for my overnight oats. She made overnight oats better than anybody else. She had every recipe. So one day she was off and she was craving the overnight oats. So she went to the supermarket, bought every single item that we use. She went and made it at home. Didn't come out the same. Same oats, same protein, same Greek yogurt, same flavoring, vanilla extracts, everything. She's like, there's something about this place.
Hummus has some type of angelic
Some
presence,
weird, man.
That
So
ever since
it's
that
weird.
line formed, that's
I
it,
don't
man.
know,
Every
man.
store has
I
like a
don't know.
halo
That's
over
just,
it.
Yeah, that's but the muffins took her a while because they were just deformed.
They go. Tss, they
They
like
either
flake.
sink in or it looked like one side was like, going to the right, one side was going. So it took a while. once she like perfected the base, she started coming out with flavors, and I didn't realize how many people loved muffins.
Yeah.
That's when it took off, and like now it's actually like it's a brand.
Yeah, Buffin. I mean, you see it and you just
like
see.
Buffin Muffins, like it's a brand.
Yeah.
Which never thought it would
I
happen.
forget which was the first one I had. I think I had, it was like one of the, what were the original flavors you came out with?
Chocolate, strawberry, blueberry. Those three were the
So then it
original.
was the chocolate one that I originally had.
Yeah.
And then I had, oh my God, what was it? I know the rainbow cookie slaps.
The rainbow, yeah, rainbow. I mean, I'm not a big rainbow. I know you're Italian and you love that stuff, but
Turn
I'm
these
sorry.
Turn these cameras off.
I'm sorry.
Turn these cameras off. Turn these mics
Rainbow,
off.
anything. It's just that the almond taste. I don't like that. But yeah, we had like basic flavors, but the whole health industry has grown so much in the past 5 years that like you have Lily's dark chocolate that are literally almost nothing. You have keto sugars. You have all this available to you. That's when she started getting really creative, coming out with like crazy flavors. Like the best one I think is the Ferrero one.
The
You're
Ferrero
Italian.
Rocher?
I know you.
I haven't
love
had that one
hazelnut.
yet.
Bomb.
Is it?
Bomb.
I mean, listen, I don't doubt it. So when I say is it,
Seriously.
I mean like is it? Like
Yeah.
I need to try type of thing.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and she's
The cannoli one was great too.
Yeah, like there's she's great with like extracts, flavorings. That's what it comes down to. Same thing with the oats.
Yeah, the oats, man, I love the oats. I'm not even just saying this. You could use this as an endorsement if you want, but I'm not just saying this. I go to your shop, I'll get a bunch of meals. All right, I'll get 3 or 4 overnight oats. I will wake up at like 3, 4 in the morning, and I'll go in the kitchen and I'll just be looking at them sitting there. I'll be like, man, I don't know if I eat now, then I don't get to have it later, and then I'm pissed off at 8 a.m. that I ate this at 4 a.m. So I try to I'll take a spoonful, and I'll just go back to bed. I'll wake up an hour later, like, just give me the whole jar, man.
Give me the whole thing.
Damn it! I'm like, he got me again. And then I'm looking at them later that night too. I'm like, the other one's looking kind of good now too. And something that was supposed to last me 3-4 days, day and a half, 2 days.
Day and a half.
So they are just unbelievable.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, for real, man. Listen,
Thank you.
but it comes down to it all. So when you guys were the restaurant, was it just the hot food bar?
Just the hot food.
Okay, it wasn't like a
Gyros.
sit down ever.
There was always tables there. There were always tables.
Yeah, but was
by
it a
the
sit
pizza.
down like a restaurant where your waiter comes
No,
over? It was
diner,
always
no.
like a
It was
Chipotle
takeout.
type
Yeah,
style.
It was always a takeout.
Okay, I love that.
Gyros, salads. That's what it was in the beginning.
I'm looking at some of the questions that I had because sometimes I just jot down a couple of questions just that I have while I'm thinking about the episode, thinking about who the person is. What got you being into an entrepreneur? We nailed that on the head. Why the name Hummus? Nailed it. What's the goal of the business? Obviously, to change people's lives, family environment.
And just to get better and better.
Yeah,
Better
just to
and
keep
better, more,
progressively growing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that. This just shows that the conversation just flows so naturally that like the questions that I have, they just come out anyway.
They just came out.
It's beautiful. So besides the failing business, have there been any real pitfalls, adversity, struggles that you've had? Especially even on I'm sure there have been, even on the brighter days while the meal prep is huge now. Have there been anything in the last couple of years that's really been a pitfall-y type of situation where you've overcome?
Yeah, a couple.
Okay.
For sure.
And how did you deal with those?
Last year was one of them. The pandemic was one of them. There was a week, I think in April last year, I didn't sleep for 3 days because things were just looking bad between the pandemic. Business was, it was slow. And I'll tell you, February, March, April are our biggest months for meal prep. That's when a lot of people diet. When the pandemic hit, it all went.
No one was doing shit.
And I didn't know what was going to happen. I have amazing people on my team, my staff. They don't know what's going on. Everyone's afraid there's going to be no jobs. And I'm talking about like April when things were
When it was
bad.
really slapping everybody.
When it was just slapping small businesses. When the big guys like McDonald's and Wendy's were
They all got
packed.
They all got to do their thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I got my own feelings on that.
Yeah, that was a very but we I didn't want to give up. I just couldn't give up. There was too much on my shoulders. I couldn't go into work and tell my staff like, I have to start cutting you guys. Certain ones didn't want to come in. due to the pandemic, and the ones that came that needed to, the whole unemployment wasn't even out on the streets yet.
It wasn't even a thing, yeah.
It wasn't even a thing. I said, no matter what it takes, like no one's going home. Like we're gonna work. I know whatever. Even like we one day we started cleaning like the ceilings, everything. Just I said, everyone's coming at the regular time and you're gonna put in your hours. I can't be the reason, or the pandemic's not gonna be the reason why you're not taking money home. So that was a big struggle, and we overcame that by keeping our focus on what we did best. Making good food, being convenient. That actually helped us broke out our shelf. We never used to deliver to homes. We started delivering to homes, Nassau, Suffolk now, which is a very big for us.
It's a big move. And you have the new store in Profit.
Yeah.
Which is huge
we
too.
opened, what happened was we started working on the main kitchen silently right before the pandemic. Signed the lease. A month into it, the pandemic hits.
Sick.
So, you know, like you don't know what's going to happen. What's happening? Middle of the summer during 2020, I went and took out a personal loan, big personal loan, because I needed to proceed with the kitchen.
Need to keep the ship floating.
We had to, you know, we just had to keep it going. No matter what it took, whatever it was, we had to do it. So we opened up the kitchen, and then a month later, I was on the phone with Alex, the owner of Profit. Amazing person, by the way. She's phenomenal. We've been working together for 4 or 5 years. She's had our meals in there.
Yeah, you guys had to do that carousel for a little while. With the government regulations.
The regulations. Yeah. She stood by us. She was there for us. Amazing person. She called us and said, this was like November of last year. She was like, listen, I have this space in the gym. Would you want to put hummus in there? And I'm like, I don't know if it will work out. I don't know if we can juggle it. We're just coming out of the pandemic. I spent so much money building this kitchen. We're still not getting our customers back because a lot of people fell off the gym thing. The gyms had just opened up in September, but I knew that doing something with Alex would work out because her passion. She doesn't want to let me down, and I don't want to let her down. So
fuel for both fires.
Seriously, like she's just one of those people. Like she feels like she's responsible if we fail there, but it's not her responsibility. She's doing everything. She did everything and anything to get that store open for us, which I appreciate, like crazy amount. So we opened up that store in middle of February, and
you've been cranking them out of there, man.
Doing amazing.
Yeah.
You'd never think. Industrial area, but that gym is such a busy, strong gym.
Yeah, people right after their work. How easy is that? Right
Just
after your
so
workout,
convenient.
you either got a shake from her or you got all your meal needs right there. It makes sense.
And like she like pushes people to go to our store instead of selling the shakes. Like she's just amazing like that.
Yeah.
And I always tell people this.
Yeah, team player.
Team player, leader, man. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Love Alex.
Yeah.
Shout out to Alex.
Shout out. I told her I got to get her on here too.
You have to.
So obviously team effort. Wifey is so integrated into the business.
Wifey, all my staff, family, like everyone in my family, they're somewhat affiliated. They're working at Hummus somehow. It's so in us at this point. Like literally, my 3-year-old will say, "I work at Hummus." It's funny, but he'll say, I work at Hummus. When you ask him, where does daddy live? He'll say Hummus. So it's teamwork. I've had, we've been blessed with such amazing people who be on our side. Our athletes, all of our athletes.
You got a very synergistic machine going.
Seriously. It's never just me or one person. It's just teamwork.
Yeah, and that actually kind of goes into one of the things I wrote down, which was the athletes. Was there a specific reason you signed specific athletes? I know family's important to you, so was it just because of that?
Yeah, 100%. We have at least once or twice a week we'll get messages or calls about, hey, are you guys looking for athletes? And after the pandemic, I don't think we signed anybody. When the pandemic hit, the core people that stood by us when things were all going to hell, those were the people I knew like I could trust. We have Vincenzo Masson, who's been on our team before we were even anything, and he was a big name. 23-year-old monster from
One of
Long
the biggest
Island
dudes
people,
ever.
and the nicest.
Yeah.
So we signed him on, and he helped us, dramatically.
Andre.
So Andre came along. Me and Andre have been friends for a long time. Him and Liana have been friends for a long time. Andre was he was already a big name. So for someone like Andre, an Olympian multiple times, to come onto the Hummus team 3 years ago was huge.
Yeah.
That made a lot of noise. That's when people were like, oh, like,
They're serious.
these guys are serious. If Andre Ferguson, who was, I think it was his first Arnold.
I shot the video
you
for
did
him
the video.
at the
I
restaurant.
remember at the restaurant. The restaurant was brand new.
Yeah.
We shot the video.
Orders in by what do you say?
Yeah.
Orders in by midnight.
And then you had the sick outro. I
Yeah.
love that. So like every athlete, Anthony Scalza, like these guys are family, man. Like they're not just athletes. I don't talk to them like athletes. Me and Anthony go do cardio together. We work out together. Like Vinny comes to my house, plays with my kids. Like it's just family.
He's got to go really delicate though, otherwise he'll fling the baby across the room.
You gotta. First time he came over with Caitlin, when my first son was born, I said, "Listen, you got to sit right there. I'm gonna hand you the kid. Don't move. You're too big for him."
That's awesome.
But everybody else, man, I gotta seriously like shout out to all the athletes.
Team Hummus,
Amanda, Lauren. We have Dave, Mr. Center Stage. He's a big help. He's definitely brought on some great energy to the team. But it's all like these people believe in the company, believe in the culture that we're pushing. They believe in the food.
And I'm sure that means the world to you.
Of course. I love it. Like I don't care if you have 1 million followers. It doesn't mean anything to me. At the end of the day, like money doesn't mean anything. If you're bringing me hundreds or 300 or 400 people, but you don't believe in the company, you're just posting the pictures. You could tell when you go on Instagram, you see big names posting this pre-workout, and then 3 months later is this pre-workout.
Mm-hmm. I don't give a fuck.
I'm not buying that.
I don't care. They don't care
I care
about
about who's been like, what have you been representing for years? And all of our athletes.
Where's your loyalty
They've been
run?
there. They've been around for years. When we've had our big hiccup years ago, when we used to be inside almost every gym in Suffolk
Yeah,
County.
the regulations changed.
The regulations changed. We had companies come in, undercut us. We got kicked out of multiple gyms within few days because they wanted to undercut us. Those people stood by us. The athletes were there. They pushed to bring the brand back, which was the main thing, like main reason why I stood by the same people, same core. All those people are amazing. Shout out to them.
Love that.
My team.
I think I want to ask you one more thing. I want to ask you. Well, there's actually 2 more things. I talk to you forever. What do you wish you knew 5 years ago?
Before Hummus or after?
Just 5 years ago. It could be during Hummus. It could be where you're at now versus 5, 10 years ago. Whatever. Just previous Tony. What do you wish you knew back then that you know now?
Ooh.
And it could be life. It could be business. It could be anything. I think it's important to reflect.
Let's see. As far as life, I do wish like I kept my circle smaller. That was very important.
Fair.
I have a few people in my circle, very few. They raised me up. I wish I knew this years ago. And when it comes to business, before Hummus, I wish I knew how to cook. Would have been a big help. And
do you think you would have went to culinary school, or would you be self-taught still?
Self-taught.
Yeah.
It had to be. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been cooking since I was a kid because, like I said in the beginning, we lost our mother at a very young age, and we had to. You have to cook for yourself.
Yeah, you have to put a different set of pants on now.
Yeah, exactly. But other than that, I wish I knew. And another thing, I wish we had more capital for marketing and to be able to survive through bad days. We thought we were going to open Hummus and boom, things were going to go amazing. Yeah, I wish I knew it wasn't like that.
It wasn't just a fairy tale overnight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was a big wake up call.
That's huge, man. I also want to ask you, because we haven't spoken, how's the shop doing after that incident?
The shop is back better than ever.
Good.
To be honest. Yeah, it sucks that
People are scumbags.
people, people are scumbags, and it was hard watching it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
But at the same time, I wasn't mad. I wasn't upset. I wasn't disappointed. It was more like, if you really were in my shoe every day, you would know that things happen. You go through all day, every day. If you work at homes, you know that we go through like crazy stuff, just like unluckily. But when I was just like, it was more like, you know what? I was super happy that no one was in. I was happy that the guy came like 10 minutes before our first staff comes in. It wasn't like they bumped into each other or
Ooh, that would have been bad.
Yeah, exactly. So like,
People that
I'm happy that
people that are desperate like that do desperate things.
that it's just scary thinking about that. But other than that, it was glass, couple $100, nothing else.
You build back better.
It's materialistic things. Those can come back.
Yeah.
But God forbid if somebody was there, they got hurt or something worse.
And shouts to that client that I saw you post on Facebook.
Oh yeah,
That was unbelievable. My mom even shared that post. She loved that.
Yeah, that was touching when he came and
For
told
those
me
that don't know, explain what happened.
So we got broken into a couple of weeks ago, at like 4:30 in the morning. They came and took the register, broke the glass. I actually had to watch that live, feeding my son, my newborn.
So what'd you get? You got a notification?
I got a notification on the camera system. It was 4:30, and I'm usually never up at that time. And I'll just be honest, I barely wake up in the middle of the night for the newborn because I work all day long. So my wife is just amazing. She'll take care of the
rock
baby.
star.
Rock star, love her. So for that reason, like I was just up and like my phone went off, and I know that first person comes in at 5 a.m., but not 4:30.
Still some time.
Yeah, so like I just happened to be up and I just clicked it, and I see a brick. I just saw the brick at first. I'm like, man, like a scumbag threw a brick through the store. But then I clicked the other view. He was still inside. So I went and woke Liana up. I said, hey, listen, Hummus is being robbed. I gotta go. So put my clothes on.
Called the cops.
I called the cops. Rushed out. Obviously, he was gone by then. After that, we were blessed that we got the company that came in, Jimmy's Glass. Shout out to Jimmy. He came literally within an hour. That was my real concern. Like, the store's in a community, like a small community area.
They're right in the square. You're
Exactly,
like right
in the square. Like, I didn't want people to be scared to come in, like, thinking that
That's what happens.
That's what happens. That was the main thing. And
that could happen in the richest area. It could happen in the poorest area. It doesn't matter.
It just doesn't. Exactly. It's nothing that you can control. And I didn't want people to be scared to come into Hummus. So I actually, I got a phone call from another business owner down the block. Oh, hey, I saw your glass. Do you need a glass guy? I'm like, yeah, like, how do you know? Like, wait, this is 6 a.m. He's like, oh, this same thing happened to me. I'm like, oh, you got, someone came in? Yeah. I'm like, oh, why didn't you put this out?
I saw you said that there was it was a
multiple, 13 other businesses got hit, but no one was putting it out. So I wanted to make everybody aware. I wanted to let everybody know, like, we live in a resident, like the business is in the residential area. I have a really good friend that lives 3-4 houses down with 2 little kids. So I wanted to make sure that everybody was aware. I contacted all the businesses around. I said, please put the video out there. Someone has to know this guy. 6, 7 other places put the video out. They still haven't caught him, but it stopped at this point.
I wish you ran into Andre at the grill. That would have been fun. Andre just eating
You
chicken.
know what's funny?
Fuck you doing here?
So we get robbed. Andre's supposed to receive his food that day for the Olympia. It's like 11 o'clock. Andre's FaceTiming me, and I'm like, obviously,
dealing with shit.
Yeah, I'm dealing with stuff. He's like, yo, where's my food? I'm like, dude, it's supposed to be there. Like, I'm looking at the tracking. It got there at 10 o'clock. He's like, no, my food's not there. And remind you, this guy's been on, like, low carb for weeks now. It's Olympia time, and he's hungry.
Yeah, he's got to
So he's like an animal on the camera, just going
it's a
crazy.
bear
Where's my
just
food?
ready to
Yeah.
go.
I'm like, no, the food is there. He's like, they're telling me it's not here. So, like, an hour later, he goes and, he finds the food. They dropped it off somewhere else. He eats, and then he calls me calmly. He's like, oh, I got the food. now it's a different entree. But he was going crazy. And I'm like, dude, what do you want me to do? I just got a burglar just came in. I sent you food out last night. So it was just like a little crazy. But
Yeah.
it worked out. He ate his, I sent him a Buffin. He ate his Buffin. He was calm.
Take
It
the
was
Buffin.
good.
Take the
Exactly.
Buffin. But dude, I'm glad that you're good with that and that everything is good.
Appreciate it.
Plug yourself. How can people find you? Where can they find the business? When do you do meal orders? Talk to the people
All right.
if they don't know you.
Once again, my name is Tony, one of the owners at Hummus Fit, Hummus Mediterranean. We have 4 locations. Holbrook, that's our headquarters since 2015. We have our main kitchen in Ronkonkoma. We have Selden, 680 Middle Country Road, and we have a location right next to the ProFit Gym in Deer Park, 41 Mercedes Way.
In Profit. Yeah,
It's inside, and you
but
don't have to be a
separate,
member.
You have a separate entrance.
Yeah, separate entrance. You don't have to be a member. But if you come in, buy a meal or so, you'll get a free day pass.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful.
You can't
gym.
beat that,
You
man.
just can't beat that. Alex is that great. Like, she's like, any customer that you want to give, a day or 2 pass, whatever, go ahead. And orders. If you're looking to, lose weight, maintain, don't have the time, please contact us. Instagram, Hummus Fit or Hummus Mediterranean. Email us, hummusfit@gmail.com, or all orders are on hummusfit.com. If you place your order by Friday midnight, we'll deliver it, or you can pick it up by that Sunday, literally 1 day gap. We're pretty quick with that. Or if you want your order for midweek, place it on Sunday, pick it up on Wednesday.
Cool.
Simple. If anybody has any questions, just give us a buzz. We'll be more than
And you also
happy
have
to
the
help.
full meals that you have you have those meals, and then you have the bulk items too.
Yes, we do have the bulk items.
So if you don't
you're
want to
a
have to cook rice
bodybuilder-
or asparagus or shit like that, they have
exactly,
it all.
and our prices are great. We're not ripping anyone apart.
Don't worry about it.
So just give us a buzz. Your
Cool.
bulk items are there: grilled chicken, flank steak, lean ground beef, rice, asparagus, whatever you need. You might only need asparagus. You can come to us.
You got it. You got it all.
That's it.
I love that.
But it was a pleasure being here. It was.
Give
It
me
was
some
literally.
dab. Give me some
it was
dab.
literally, man.
Give me
it's
some
like
dab. Come on, bro.
It was like another conversation.
It's just
between
two
you and
friends
I.
talking. That's what
Exactly.
it is.
So we got to redo this again.
We'll do more. We'll do more. I would love to
Seriously.
get wifey on, talk about that side of things. I'd love
Yeah.
to get any other business owners that you have that want to come on and just talk. I
I
think
got
it's
a couple great friends who are entrepreneurs to the T, hard workers, and I'm sure they can put some wisdom out
I'll have
there.
Panetti come next time, so it'd be the 4 of us. We could all chop it up. We got extra mics over there.
Oh yeah,
Done, bro. It'll be sick.
You got so much equipment here.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, seriously,
You usually see me on my shoots, and then this is where it all comes from.
I know. I saw you. I've seen you with that. One camera
Yeah.
with that. What handle was that?
Yeah, the little wooden grip, the pistol grip over there.
Pistol grip,
Yeah,
and I'm
man.
like, what's this guy doing?
Just wait until
But
I get the next camera. Next camera's gonna be elaborate.
I'm sure like that. I know that one looks good too.
Yeah, man.
But I appreciate everyone listening. I hope we didn't annoy you or
No, not at
it
all.
wasn't
We
boring. I
we
hope
gave
just put some
inspiration.
inspiration. If anybody needs to talk to me, seriously, business, anything, give me a buzz, man.
Cool.
I'm that guy. I could talk to you, give you some. If you have any questions on how to do things, if you have any questions how to start a company, and I'm not charging. I'm only telling. I want to help.
Just being a good ass guy, man. He's just being a
money,
good
man.
dude.
Money doesn't do anything for me. I'll be there. I love seeing people, succeed, especially friends. It's like some people don't like seeing their friends succeed. I don't understand that.
That
Like,
lifts,
I
that
want to
lifts
see
you
you
up, man.
succeed. Like Rizzle, I want to see you be the best camera guy so I could be like, Rizzle shot that video for me. That looks better on me. Like, I don't care if Rizzle or another friend is a millionaire. Like, that's good for me. I got a millionaire friend.
And I gotta see Tony take over the fucking
You know,
country. Meal preps everywhere.
We're gonna listen, bro. We're gonna keep working. Like I told you, there's no stopping for me or my team because we all believe in we all believe in the company, the same mission. Like I said, I come from poverty, bro. I come from
You know what it
Turkey.
feels like to be
Exactly,
poor.
and I don't want to go back to that. And I want to see my family not go back to that either. So for that reason, we're gonna keep working. Hummus is always gonna be around, and this is not arrogance. This is just me telling myself you got to keep working to make sure you don't look like an ass.
Yeah. I love that,
So,
dude.
Appreciate you, bro.
Listen, I appreciate everybody. This is episode 5 of Rizzology with my man Tony Turkset. We in here spitting facts and having a good ass time. Till the next one. Peace.
Peace.